Hello, welcome to Chat from the Vat. We're in week 5. Did we say week 5?
We did.
Someone did. Maybe it's week 6. Thank you for joining us. I hope everyone had a lovely week. Similar panel of Ballistic representatives at least. So we have Lockie joining us again, David joining us, and then we have a special guest this week who is Matt from Brewski. We're going to do an intro and a Q&A with Matt in just a short little while and find out what they have going on. But first, David, would you like to give us an update for Ballistic for the week, please?
Alrighty. Well, it's been another week in COVID-19, and in many ways it's just another week in COVID-19 for us. I think it's sort of slotted into a bit of a holding pattern now for a while. So, in truth, the most exciting thing that happened at Ballistic this week is a very fine gentleman called Don Kalakarinos. Hopefully I've said that right.
Yeah.
Dropped in uninvited and left about 4 boxes of the most amazing peanut brittle marshmallows and some other...
Is this a paid advertisement?
No, this isn't. The task, he said to us, can you just see if this stuff goes well with beer? Because he was thinking about marketing elsewhere, and there is almost nothing left after 3 days. I went home sick last night from the amount of peanut brittle that I ate.
Should have seen all the brewers just like squawking around the bar like seagulls, just like stuffing it in, yeah. They wouldn't shut up about how good it was, hey?
So, Don, brilliant, thank you very much. Excellent gift. If we were supposed to pay for it, we better sort that out, but it's all gone. Great stuff.
Just come back, whatever.
We're so professional, yeah.
But does it go with beer?
Sorry?
Does it go with beer?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Has Matt tried it?
Oh.
David?
Barbecue peanut brittle, choc roasted, coasted, choc peanut brittle.
Are you allergic to peanuts?
Lime chili coconut peanut brittle. That does have a bit of heat on it, by the way. Which one would you like?
Oh, look, the one with a bit of heat. Let's give it a crack.
Personally, my vote was on the salted caramel peanut brittle, which was just amazing.
Lock your mum first in.
We'll just sit here and eat this in front of you. It is really, really good.
Thank you very much.
I think Ev, one of our brewers, I don't know if you're watching, Ev, but you probably can't eat this because you're allergic to peanuts, aren't you? According to
there is also fudge. There are also caramel
and keep
fudge.
More than your 1.5
Alrighty,
liters.
so that was the most exciting thing this week. Second is we do actually have some hand sanitizer. We were able to get some from another brewery. If you're in desperate need of hand sanitizer, and by the way, if you're in desperate need of toilet paper, we had another box of it arrive here today from some deal that we had with Who Gives a Crap a while ago at West End that we haven't cancelled. We better get around to doing. So
which
you need toilet paper as well, drop in. Hand sanitizer, toilet paper, beer, peanut brittle. We've got you covered for the next week. Probably the other most exciting thing, you hopefully will notice the quality is amazing, the sound is spectacular.
Is it?
My voice is deepened into sort of this erudite, loquacious voice that you're hearing now. We've invested in a bit more gear. Braden's been on my back all week to ensure we got something better so that he didn't get fired this week. And so I'm hoping the quality is just a notch up for all you guys. Some news, Helios packs. Completely sold out, sorry guys, no more on those. Immensely popular again, I think all to do with the Hades stout, which was amazing.
Didn't we actually oversell them and had to go and pick up some more beer?
Well, we did
Charlie
that too,
today.
so,
correct.
yes.
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you,
guys.
Helios. Thanks, Charlie. Thanks,
Yep,
Scott.
absolutely. Guns down there, drop through there as well and grab some beers off them. Just drink twice as much this weekend, drink ours and then drink Helios. However, keep your eye out, there are going to be some more collab packs coming in the future. We've got the next one lined up. And we'll announce that as soon as we've got it all delivered and packed and ready to go. Brew Unity continues to go out very well, thank you. Hopefully that's just making it a little easier for you to enjoy a good beer every night or every second night. So thank you for your support on that one. Springfield have asked that I tell you they have King of Wings on again. I can't see it now because we've got a sexy light that shines in my eye.
Sundays.
It's on Sunday lunchtime again, and they promise this week, unlike last week, they will not run out of wings. So drop in, try some King of Wings and a few beers and sort out your meal for the day. Finally, we are open on Saturday, Anzac Day in the afternoon. There has been some changes in time, so do check your newsletters, check your Facebooks, all that sort of stuff to stay on top of the times. We're just moving a little bit earlier, finishing a little bit earlier, so we can get home and have a life as well. So thank you very much again.
Exciting news on Saturday is actually you'll be here running the bar.
I will be here.
So if you want to have a chat with old mate,
come on Saturday. If you don't, come on Sunday.
Yeah, that's right. You can talk with Aaron and Alex.
Yes.
Thank you, David.
Delightful.
Insightful.
That was good.
As always.
It's only about double over time.
Yeah, but
which is good.
Somehow briefer than last week, though. So
there
I'm
we
going
go.
to give it to you.
I'm learning.
Points are awarded by me and under my rules and regulations.
You're the referee as well.
Yeah,
good.
It's
how many points do I have so far?
It's hella rigged.
Do I
still
get
negative
points for
20.
interrupting?
Slowing down the process again.
For interrupting people? That's how I accumulate points, right?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, I'm going to let you have it.
So I'm
Lockie,
7.
over to you for an update in the brewery, please and thank you.
Yeah, look, another busy week for us in brewing. I think we got back to our sort of average brews per week, which was kind of nice. We did brewed another batch of Brew Unity, batch 3, which is coming through the system. We did, I think we're speaking about the wash that we've been making for some distilleries and the challenges we've been having with that. We actually made some malt wash, so made some sugary water from grain for numerous reasons that you'll probably be bored with if I went into them. But we did that, and we're trying to get our sugar wash actually fermenting. So seems to have kicked off, and the brewers are optimistic and sending photos of the gravity and pH readings around in our group chat each day, so that's good. I meant to check the next one. We actually brewed another IPA this week. Are we allowed to talk about that?
Oh, look.
Not Sleep When You're Dead either.
Nah.
Do I know about this?
Well, yeah, you do. It's been like the biggest thing we've been working on for the last 4 months. Heaps of back and forth with heaps of people about things.
Oh, all that stuff. Yeah.
Are we allowed to talk about that?
Maybe like a little teaser because you've brought it up. Seems.
Well, I could not. I mean, we may or may not.
We may.
Stephen will
Don't
send us another
upset
text
Stephen.
Yeah, sorry.
No, may or may not. Look, do we have something exciting coming?
We have some really exciting stuff coming.
We're experimenting with a number of our beers, just seeing what interesting alternatives we have to some of our faves.
More to come on that.
Can I get 6 cases, please?
Yeah,
absolutely done.
Yeah, of each, yes. All right.
Get your heart out, sales reps. We're already ready.
This is being taped, right?
Yeah. We brewed new Sleep When You're Dead this week too.
Yes,
so
that definitely we can talk about.
That definitely happened. We only brewed half the volume that we normally would because there's no kegs to sell. So there will be slightly more cans available than we normally do. So if you have missed out before, you should be able to get some this time. But yeah, that's happening. Style on that TBC. We haven't decided what it's going to be. No, we haven't announced it yet.
I have to say, it's my first Sleep When You're Dead on board.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
How does it feel?
Yeah, it feels quite good, actually. I'm excited
good.
about what it is. It looks
Sleep
cool.
When You're Dead juggernaut,
Yeah, I'm excited as a consumer as
So
well.
for those who don't know what Sleep When You're Dead is, it's a quick range, so I'll take up a little bit of time. Quick range
please do.
that we
I'll
launched
stop you
their
if I need
highly
to.
hoppy IPAs, and as you hopefully will know, we are very serious about fresh beer here. Our way of putting our money and our beer where our mouth is, which is where your beer should go, is that these beers are only released for 8 weeks. So that's why we say Sleep When You're Dead. You need to get into the store now and get it, or not now, but when we launch it, you've only got 8 weeks to get it and it's gone. Every can has a dead by date on the bottom, and when it hits that, we'll actually take any cans that are left in store, if any, and they all come back here and they get
incinerated
or emptied into certain large vessels for storage.
We actually invested like 100 grand in a burner just to incinerate.
We cremate each one.
To kill those beers, if you will.
So super fresh, highly hopped IPAs, amazing flavours. They're the best of the best out of this place. So when you hear the launch, go and grab on as soon as you can.
Get them if you can. Yeah.
In every good independent bottle shop.
Sorry.
That's all right. You go.
Can I keep going?
Yeah.
Or am I too long?
No, I'll stop in a minute. Get it?
Just canning wise, we did some pale and some dirty word, and we also have Mexican hot chocolate stout is back in stock, which has been really funny that we continue to run out of that beer for a 6.7% chocolate chili stout. It's not something that we ever thought was going to sell out continuously in summer. We can't really keep chasing our tail with that beer because it just goes. But anyway, it's back in stock and we got more coming soon. So probably permanently available now just because you guys wanted it. So cheers.
Thank
That's it from me.
Thank you. So now officially to introduce our special guest, Matt, who has joined us from the far reaches of Brisbane, just the city.
Other side of the
Yeah.
So Matt, for those of you who don't know him, is one of the owners of Brewski with his wife. And Brewski Bar is probably one of the best independent craft bars in general in Brisbane. Has a massive range of independent beer, super interesting, massive champions of independent craft beer. So we're really, really happy to have you joining us tonight. We're really, really happy to have the bar in our neck of the woods. So thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thanks so much for having me. It's awesome to be here. It's a great little setup here.
Thank you.
I'm glad to be a part of the chat.
Thank you.
We did visit Matt earlier today because we're very busy. So David, Lockie, and I jumped into David's much talked about Porsche. I still feel like my back is sore from how small the back is, but that's for another story. So we went and visited Matt, and we're going to ask Matt many, many questions about the pub himself, his background. But first, I think we all grabbed something. So like I said, the range at Brewski is next to none. So we all grabbed something from my beer dealer, which is the bottle shop attached to Brewski. And we kind of just wanted to grab something each that had a bit of a story to us that we were going to talk about. So I think all four of us grabbed something.
Sorry, I got to be excited. I was going in and
if everyone, I know that we're all double parked,
really
but
awkward.
I think we'll come back to these
Speak
ones
for
because it
yourself,
looks
mate.
like we're all drinking a similar one. So we're going to crack a beer. If you haven't yet, which I assume you have, crack a beer now. Q&A is going to happen later. So while we're opening up all these special beers,
What did you have?
just remember to send us your questions so that we can answer them at the end of the show. We also have a little bit of a game that we're all going to play that I can't say much about because I actually don't know. So hopefully we all look super impressive.
But I brought a can, so... Oh, there we go.
Oh, wow. Don't look. Nobody look.
Good.
There we go.
Wow.
Look at
I
that.
don't drink beers.
I can't believe that worked
So
out
we
well.
have, do you need one
I
as
was gonna wear
well?
it.
David, you got to go again.
Would you mind? It's a party trick, mate.
Now we're in trouble. Twice on
I've seen someone do it with it. I've done it with a piece of paper before. That's quite a good one.
Really?
Or a
Uh-oh.
20-cent coin.
Nah.
Oh, you did the wrong one.
Oh, Lordy.
David, you're a
lid.
failure. Yeah. There's a coaster here. Maybe just use that.
We'll get there. I only said to Lachlan a good 3 minutes before we started, make sure you bring your Leatherman
What?
because we need a bottle of... Still, and I think I said this at the very first one, when we first started here, it was only Lachlan and I sitting in our office on Fridays trialling beers, never had a bottle opener, and so we had a green...
Yes.
Stapler.
Wait, no,
it was
it's
a
not.
hole punch.
hole punch.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Braden.
Yeah, it's
Nice
a bit late,
timing.
Braden.
Oh, we did
We're
it.
done.
Thanks.
We used to use a green hole punch. 4 years down the track, we still do not have a bottle
Yeah.
opener. in this
Like, everyone has one, but it's never there when you actually go to open
No.
something, is it? All right, so I think we'll just really quickly, I feel you might recognize some of the beers, but they mean a little something to us. So without putting everyone on the spot, I'm going to put everyone on the spot. Starting with you, Matt, maybe? Do you want to just say why you brought what you brought? What you
Yeah,
brought?
sure. So I bought a Prairie Bomb. So Prairie's a great little brewery from Oklahoma in the States. And quite often I get asked in the bottle shop, what's your favourite beer? And it's you know, we've got 500 different beers sitting in front of us, and it changes daily, weekly. But this is one Imperial Stout I keep coming back to, and I think it's pretty, you know, not far away from. It's like an imperial version of your Mexican hot chocolate in a lot of ways. It's got
13%.
Yeah.
You're going to be drivelling by the end of this.
I was drooling at the start, but just the mouthfeel on this is always incredible, and it's just got a tiny little bit of chili at the back, and I just keep coming back to it whenever I need an Old Faithful or something that I know is going to hit the mark every time. I'll reach for that. So
Yeah.
it's definitely a beautiful. I'm just going to, excuse me, I'll have a sip. But
Yeah.
I'm going to one of mine too.
David, who, by the way, definitely went home and got a glass.
I know. Couldn't
Yeah.
go home and get lunch.
No, yeah, but
No,
definitely.
I did miss out on lunch. Now, the beer is Chimay Blue, and that was something that happened in the very early days in my homebrew store days, because I went from a Philistine on Cascade Light as my
Yum.
beer of choice, and slowly went through a long progression. I went to Toowoomba with one of my staff for a TAFE training weekend, and we went up to the Spotted Cow, and we were there until it closed, and we needed one more beer to take home to our apartment for the night. And I asked the man there, what was the beer? Did he have a beer that would send us home with? And he said, look, I can give you a bottle of Chimay Blue, and I've even got 2 glasses so you can take these home, because we're in some dodgy little service department. He said, you can take these glasses home. This is actually the glass. This is 15 years old. We had an absolute skinful that night, because I think we've been drinking from about 5 or whenever the course finished, right through to when they closed the bar. And I drank this, and it was so full of flavour that even after 5 hours of sitting drinking craft beers at the Spotted Cow, this still cut through as an amazing, rich, beautiful, smooth beer. It's seriously high alcohol, and you could never tell. It's just an absolute gem of a beer. Love it. I even had the bottle on my desk until I left 4 years
Wow.
ago.
Cheers to that. Do you still have the bottle?
No, I think it got lost in when I sold the business.
Lost in translation. Translation.
Copyright. Tell us about your beer.
Yeah,
Nice beer.
We're talking about my beer? Yeah. So the beer I got is not actually the beer I intended to get, which is pretty cool. But I got a beer from the same brewery for the beer. I thought we were doing Epiphany beers, which is like which I guess is kind of what yours was. Exactly what yours was. For me, when I was living in Perth and sort of just a
Nice
young blood brewer, and went to the International Beer Shop and bought this. No, it wasn't there. It was actually at Carlisle Celebrations with our good friend Joel, who actually distributes our beer in WA now, funnily enough. Small world.
Hi, Joel.
Hi, Joel. I'm sure you're watching with your 4 kids and your 11 chooks, and you got time to do this on a Friday night. And your
Well, it's
pub
Friday
that,
afternoon or
pub
something,
that you run. Oh, that's true. It's Friday morning in Perth, but it was a McKellar Beer Geek breakfast. It's like their breakfast stout with oats and coffee and lactose and all fun things. And I just remember buying that bottle when we came back to the house I was living at, and I was there with my old man, and we actually just cracked this beer and we poured it, and we were both just like, I mean, I'd grown up drinking VB and stuff. I'm just like, holy, it was just like, and I think my old man, he used to even say, I can't drink it. It's too much. Like, it's too much in this beer. And I just remember being so wowed that a beer could be so packed with flavour and just so different to what, and that was just like, wow. And so ever since then, I've had this really soft spot in McKellar. I've got one of their hazy IPAs today that, thanks Matt, had in stock and continues to stock good stuff. But yeah, that was my beer story.
Yeah, cool.
Thanks.
I guess it's to me.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
mine.
Well, you're the host. You need to introduce yourself.
Yes,
Yeah.
Lauren, you're up.
Lauren, what beer did you have as your Epiphany beer?
So I grabbed a New Belgium Transatlantic Creek. I sound a bit different than everyone on the couch, maybe. I'm Canadian. So
You're
I
what?
Yeah, sweet Lord.
Didn't you go home in the last plane? You missed it.
This isn't where I started, I guess, my beer journey, but definitely a different chapter of it. So I started probably 4 or 5 days after I landed in Australia. I started working at Tippler's Tap, Master Street, and I think this has kind of a special memory for me in that I just remember it being one of the first types of beers that I cracked here in Australia. I think Admiral Akbar was one of the first things I drank. It was on tap at Tippler's. It blew my socks off.
I was going to say, so you flew all the way to Australia from Canada, and the first beer that you opened was a Belgian beer.
No.
Well, New Belgium's actually American.
Well, but was it a real creek or an American?
It was Boone. I think Boone was the first one I had, and then
Yeah,
the Transatlantique. Remember when it was in the other bottle and it had but then that kind of led into Cantillon. I reckon probably still through Brewski at some point, and if it was on tap. And then when Scratch had it on, and then tartness, I got into sours. So I guess Creek was just something that when I was working at Tippler's, my coworkers recommended I needed to kind of have a try of. That was like 2015, so it's not a new style, but it was new to me. And that, I guess, was my intro into the world of sour beers, and kind of similar to what you said, it was just so different than anything I'd ever had. And in the US and Canada, it was just hops, 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 hops. So I have a bit of nostalgia for that. I remember it quite well. I really like New Belgium, who are, yes, American, but still make it tasty as Creek. And as Matt was saying to me earlier when we were at the store, the story behind it's quite cool, and that the culture comes over just funking away, basically, to New Belgium, and then they use it in their Creek there, so it comes overseas. So anyway, that's why I chose mine. Again, thank you to Matt and my beer dealer for the range and the supply.
Oh, thanks for stocking us with awesome beers and coming and supporting us. Awesome, guys.
Guys, again, you got to get in there. I'm sure most of you have, but the selection is tremendous.
It's Caxton Street, if you don't know.
Yep, which I guess we'll get into now. So, back on the hot seat, Matt, we're going to ask you all sorts of questions about yourself. I wrote a couple down because I actually don't think I know the story of Brewski, why you guys chose to open a craft bar to begin with, maybe why Caxton Street, and just a little bit of the backstory.
Yeah, Caxton Street was a bit of an accident. So both Antoinette and I were previous lives in the advertising industry. So Antoinette was a project manager. I was on the design side, art direction side of things. We had our own business for quite a few years, and we had a midlife crisis and sort of didn't know whether to buy a red car or buy a bar.
Where would the beer industry be, craft beer industry be, without midlife crisis?
Well, exactly.
It's
Exactly
staffed by
right.
people. Entirely of people having midlife crisis.
Exactly. Yeah. So I guess we were, me particularly, I was a barfly at the Scratch, and particularly, and I became quite envious of the amount of fun the guys are having, and it was like, what am I doing working in advertising and this, chasing people for money, and it was crazy. And so we decided we'd try and set up a small little neighbourhood bar, and we tried to get a venue in Red Hill, and that all fell through. And so we went, oh well, that dream's over. Let's march on. And a few weeks later, we got tapped on the shoulder. A friend of ours knew somebody who was trying to offload a venue on Caxton Street, which was like, I lived in Red Hill at the time, so not far away, and Caxton Street was, Caxton with four X's in the middle, and it was, we never went there, and but Lefties had just opened up, and we thought, oh, hang on, maybe there's an maybe there is new life coming into the street, and so we went and had a look a couple of hours after that phone call, and we were, signed a lease, and we were away. So it was one of the silliest things we've ever done, but no, it was awesome.
And when was that? What year did it?
That was 2013. So we opened up in November-ish. So I think this is our seventh year, nearly seventh.
Yeah, wow.
So what was? Oh, sorry, you go ahead.
So no experience in hospitality or anything?
None at all.
Before?
No.
Wow,
Absolutely no idea.
Only being on the other side of the bar, and I was very good at that. And so we I guess we didn't know what we didn't know, and we employed a great manager, Ingrid, who got us through the first 3 years, and taught, she had amazing experience, and we had the beer passion, and so we matched that up together, and it was fantastic. So
awesome.
Sounds like a hospitality venture. I always say that we went into it with ignorance and arrogance, so had no idea what we're doing, but fully believed that we could do it anyway. So
well, it's funny because we could make beer, and we could run a business,
and we had a tap room,
and we had taps, but we had no idea what was involved in actually hospitality. I mean, that was the biggest learning curve for us. It's so different.
It's a unique thing, like hospitality. Like, kudos to all hospitality workers.
Who aren't having a lot of fun at the moment either.
Nah,
so.
but it's your weapons. It's a tough industry. Yeah, you put up with a lot of good people. I'm curious, like, how do you feel the independent scene has like changed from, like you said, like 4X is in the middle of it on Caxton Street, like, you know, a few businesses have, like, it's changed, I would imagine. Like, how have you kind of found it?
Do you mean the street or?
I guess maybe in general, like a little bit of both, but like the street maybe for you guys and the welcome, but then just in general, like, are you surprised where it's gotten to?
Look, I guess this is where we all dreamed it would become, and I think, 7 years ago, I really think we've almost arrived at where we dreamed of, and so now it's like, now we're here. It's like, okay, what do we fight for? We were fighting, at the start we were fighting for flavours and beer, and it's changed into a fight now for independence, and which is really nice. And I think, with all this COVID crap, I think it's actually really highlighted the importance of being independent and supporting that. So I don't know. I think it's a great conversation to be having, and it's great to have been a part of the.
Where was Grand Central? Were they still open when you started, or were they?
I think they were still open, but not for much longer. Yeah,
because it was almost like this death knell for Brisbane when they said, "Oh, we're closing Grand Central." And I thought, what is left? Yeah. And I think what's the bars down in Victoria? In the pubs, and I've completely forgotten it. So one of them offered, if someone wanted to start a bar up here, they would loan their name and help in the investment when Grand Central closed. And I actually toyed with the idea momentarily, just because I wanted to screw up another business, but.
The sort of businessman you are, yes. Absolutely. Reflects your personality.
Again, ignorance and arrogance is generally my business approach. But yeah, there was just wasn't anything. So they sort of went down. And I think you probably came up and Scratch came up, and that was it. There was there was this barren wasteland, and then finally you and Scratch sort of got spooled up and filled in that, and then from there we've gone forward ever since. So
yeah.
Saved the day for us.
Oh, well, I think there's a few people responsible for that, absolutely. But it's nice to be a part of it. Yeah.
What do you think, Matt? I'm just interested. Like, Caxton Street's a funny place, right? Because you're so close to the stadium, and I suppose that's a lot of your business during footy season. But you're just like a staunchly craft beer place that does great food and great beer. And why do you think that you guys have done so well and been so successful and survived in that environment? There's been so many craft beer bars that have been on Caxton that it seems like it would be such an easy idea. Craft beer is cool. People go to the footy. There's a lot of people around. It should just be a working formula. But so many bars have been around there and just haven't made it. Like, why? Why is it that
I'm not sure. We often ask ourselves the same question. Look, I think it's just we're, excuse the expression, balls deep in what our mission is, and that's to it is to convert the mass beer mass produced beer drinkers into good beer drinkers, I guess, and we've stuck to that, and I guess it's having passionate staff that work for you, that give a crap and will take the time to explain to somebody, or they come up to the bar and ask for a VB. Yeah, you can have that. We don't have it, but why don't you try something like this? And so, I guess it's just taking that time, and it's pretty amazing. So when we first started, we still had, we opened with a Lion Nathan contract. We bought the place. It had a Lion Nathan contract on it.
So that was hung over from the previous lease.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah,
and so at the time, they were probably 2 years into owning Little Creatures, and Little Creatures was still, still an acceptable sort of...
Yeah.
I think it's an amazing...
Probably in 2013, it was probably still, one of the better, or there wasn't that many around even back then.
No, absolutely, yeah. So we had 8 taps at the time, and so 4 of those were Lion Nathan, but we had pretty much Little Creatures and White Rabbit on full time on those taps, and they were just, I think they had good brand recognition, and people didn't mind trying them, and so that was part of the conversation, and a lot of those customers are still coming in when they go to the footy game or coming in on their Friday nights, and now they're drinking sours or imperial stouts, or so it's been amazing I guess, watching our journey and watching other people's journey.
Yeah.
And it's not actually rocket science, so it's really difficult to do, is just have people who are passionate about your product and then super enthusiastic and it works, but trying to do that all the time and generate it is hard. And I know for here, like we're very keen to have staff that actually are passionate and knowledgeable about the beers. And the one thing we've definitely learned about hospitality is that the venue is entirely dependent on the enthusiasm and the passion of the people working behind the bar. And clearly I suppose maybe you say you don't know why, but obviously you're just damn good at picking people who do that really well, and so you just keep reinforcing that message and that vision that you have all the time really well, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you have that mission, or your vision, like written down? Is that something you come back to and use that for?
Yeah, but we
decision
do have
making?
a vision, written down. It's basically it's all about good beer, and it's filtering down from. Yeah, we want to have something for everybody.
Yes.
And that's
yeah.
So that is very important to our business, and as we don't want people to come in and say, hey, give us a 4X, and we laugh at them and they run down the street going, oh, craft beer is for
You're full of
idiots.
wankers. Yeah.
So in that vein, you have, and like very pleasantly so, you guys have a wonderful reputation for the range that you guys have, international, local, you name it. So is that something that, I guess, was that something that happened just kind of organically? Was that something that you always wanted to be able to achieve? And then how does that connect? Like my beer dealer, for people at home is it getting onto a year? Is it past a year?
Oh, we're at 18 months with my beer
18
deal.
months.
Yeah.
So is the bottle shop, was that a vision you guys always kind of had in the back of your mind, or was that something that came about when the industry started to grow?
It came about because we had some space that we were paying rent on.
Yeah.
And we were like, what can we do with this? And then,
You weren't utilising
so,
it.
we never came into this business expecting to get into bottle shops or even, full on.
But how cool is it you can fly to the States, go around all the breweries, drink beer, and then do it on the taxpayers' land? So
It's
just great.
that's why we're really here. That's a nice perk, I'll admit, yes. But we just sort of, a couple of years in, we sort of realised we'd bought the bar, and it used to be a taco tequila bar, and they had a general hotel licence. I've got no idea why.
Only open on Tuesdays?
Only open on Tuesdays. They made a lot of money on Tuesdays.
Yes.
But we realised the power of the commercial hotel licence and what we could do with the takeaways, and so I guess. Yeah, a couple of years in, we started devising the plan for my beer dealer, and it took us quite a while to realise that. And and now, I guess personally, I love being able to have that range and you really talk. Anybody who walks in, you can really find a beer for them because there's not so much of it.
It's probably something you couldn't have had with the bar upstairs, right? Just having, you can't have that extended range,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
And I think the experience too, like to David's point about the people behind the people that you have giving that experience, like
No one noticed that, did
it's
they?
such a,
No, what happened?
it's just such
Sorry.
a powerful tool that I think Brewski and now my beer dealer has, that the wealth of knowledge to be able to talk to such a wide range of products makes it so easy and so safe to walk into that space, and it's not overwhelming because you can just, it's overwhelming almost because you want everything, but it's not overwhelming in that you wouldn't know what to choose. Like, I just think that's something that's been done so well is you can walk in and just ask a question and you'll get guided to something new maybe, but something safe as well. Like the knowledge is there.
That's awesome. Yeah. We do get people walking in though, and there's choice overload, and they walk in and then and edge back out because there's just too much going on.
Oh, I almost have that problem because I look at it and it's like going to Bunnings. You walk into Bunnings and you come out 3 days later. and I walk in there and I think, what I'm just stuck trying to work out what I'm going to have because there's 400 different beers I want. Yeah. And you've got to choose only a couple. Well, actually, in the last 2 weeks I haven't. I've chosen about four of what I was going to do. Like when I was going to say, do you remember what our vision is?
What our vision is? Oh, our mission.
Mission?
We shouldn't talk about our vision. That's got
mission.
numbers
Yes,
in it.
our mission. That was right, yeah.
It's a really good question, David. It's something we should know.
Should we come back to it next week?
No, I was just
We've
going
got
to
a
say.
special guest here, and I'm
I
into
only
it.
asked this mostly because, A, to put Lachlan on the spot, and I can prove that he doesn't know it and he should. And we'll sort him out later.
Well, you tell
on
me
that.
what it is then.
To provide the best beer
That's right.
experience.
Beer experiences. Yeah.
And that's pretty much
Very-
down the
very
track.
similar
That's
to
what I
ours.
think, and that's it's the same sort of thing. We want people to walk into that bar, and we get people. Or
Well,
the
what's to walk
spirit
into
drinkers,
your bar
or-
and drink a
or
pint
drink
of
our beer.
Ballistic and have
yeah.
a great beer experience.
Yeah, and every beer is a great experience, and even to the point where hopefully we provide a great beer experience to you as the wholesalers to your retailer. Hopefully, if you walk into one of our hospitality venues, you have a great beer experience. And I think for us, beer experience is not just this. In some cases, we have to do it by proxy because you're going to have it at Matt's bar. But the other part of it is, if you're at one of ours, we want you to have that great experience where you're sitting down with your mates and it's a really nice time. And this is just making that time together with your friends a whole lot better. I kind of see there's two ways of drinking beer. One is you drink it while you're talking and it's just there and you're drinking it. But the other one, I think with craft beer, it slows you down and it actually enriches the moment that you're in by actually savouring that beer as well as savouring your friendship and everything else that's going on. And that I think is what craft beer is about, is giving you something to savour as you're doing other things as well. Or you can actually just sit there and just savour the beer because it's amazing.
Yeah.
David, I'm going to cut you off because I get to.
Because it's my
Not even
job.
because I have
Maddox
to.
Triple,
Not
sorry.
because I have to, because I get to.
Sorry, can
Mads,
I just put one little thing in?
no.
Sorry, I'm drinking
No.
a Maddox Triple. They brew out of their garage down in behind the Gold Coast. Beautiful beers as well. Belgian couple that have come over. Startup brewery, beautiful beers. Give them
Amazing
a go.
stuff.
Can I try some?
Mate.
Thank you. Chimay.
How have you found?
Shemay,
So
Shemay.
we're like,
You
well,
Shemay.
we're week 5 on this, which means we're maybe week 6, week 7 of, I guess, COVID and the actions that we've taken here in Australia.
Yep.
So what has your experience been? What is the experience for my beer dealer, for Brewski?
I guess the first week was absolute terror, and it was having to lay off some amazing people and sort of hopefully it's just putting their jobs on hold for a while. And then it was just I guess I think a lot of people in the same boat where you just jump into survival mode and you're just scrambling and hustling to work out where you can point the ship and where you can sort of try and keep some jobs and where you can try and get some custom and how you can not get COVID-19 yourself and
Yes.
for your staff and so we bought a hell of a lot of disinfectant and bought some hand sanitizer on the black market and all those things 4 weeks ago. That
He was not in front of that chemist that got raided about 4 weeks ago. Absolutely was not in.
But yeah, look, I think it just makes you evolve, and you're probably executing ideas that were like a 12-month, 80-month plan, and you're trying to execute them in 2 weeks.
Yes.
And so that's been I guess an upside, and hopefully when we all come out of this, those things you've implemented now will make you a stronger, more nimble, flexible business in however long it takes us to get through this.
Do you think it's going to change how you guys do business moving forward? I've been really interested in how, just broadly, people working from home and whether it's going to affect, commercial property people who own offices that aren't going to get their leases renewed because they realise that people don't need to work in an office to be productive and...
Might be a lot more shared office spaces now.
Yeah,
these
stuff like
shared
that,
work
or-
spaces that they just meet for a meeting once a week or twice a week.
Yeah, but there's other services, where they're nice to haves but not necessarily, stuff that people the first to goes. Is it going to change what you guys do or how you guys operate?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, you can't pour beer from the home office. So,
Yes, yeah, sure.
well, I do. You just- yeah. Geez, I'd like to see your office. So yeah, look, yes, absolutely. I think it will change many aspects. I don't know exactly what yet. We're scrambling to get my beer dealer fully online, and hopefully next week that'll happen. So yes,
My beer online, you just in case you didn't hear that.
yeah.
It's coming.
Thank you, mate. So
That's all we have, David.
I think there'll definitely be some lasting aspects of it. Like we've got our, the biggest difference for us is home delivery, jumping onto Uber Eats for the kitchen. So trying to get that. So it's whether they're going to stick around after this. I think it's definitely possible. So yes, that's a different business model. We'll have to expand the kitchen, and if we're going to service our usual crowd, and then that. So we've got to work out all that. So yeah, I think there'll definitely be some pluses from that. Yeah.
Nope. Nope, you're not. We are going to play a game in a hot minute, and then we're going to get into some Q&A. Sorry, David, but I have a job to do.
I have too many women in my life.
But before we swap into that, I guess just maybe final comments from you, Matt, on we have offered lots of things, and I think that we listened to other chats and stuff of how people can support us, and it's been so beautiful to support for independent beer in any way, shape, or form. But how can people continue to support their local bottle shop as well? And then just in general, like any news from my beer dealer or Brewski that you want to share?
Yeah, sure. Look, I think I mentioned earlier, like the whole independence movement in beer, which I know you read the you get onto the Facebook forums and whatnot, and people are, I don't care who owns what, and and good beer is good beer, and yes, that's true. But I think this just amplifies that whole why you support a little family brewery or a little family bottle shop as opposed to going to Dan's or to buying your Forex or whatever it is. Like, yes, of course, those businesses all support a lot of employment and whatnot, but I think they'll all be here at the end of this. Yeah. There's a good chance that little small businesses like ourselves, like your own, might not be, or so it's that's I guess that's why this is so important to change. I think if everybody can just change 2 or 3 little buying habits through their week, you can just make such a difference to the local economy and to people who really need it. So
I always buy my I was going to say drugs, that's inappropriate, my medicines from the local...
He's not that sort of dealer, mate.
The local chemist just up the road here, because he's not always the cheapest, but I know damn well that 90% of the time I actually can't be asked to drive to one of the big box chemist stores, and if I want him to be there for when I need him on a Saturday at 12 o'clock before everything closes for my medicine.
It's a very specific time
I've got to support him, or he's not going to be be there. So we've just got to support the local people, or they're not going to be there. And I think it just adds so much richness to your community when you have all these little operations.
Absolutely.
Yeah, guys, supporting your local means the world to us. It just does. Where you can, we appreciate it.
Absolutely.
That goes for breweries, that goes for
chemists,
that goes for bottle shops,
butchers,
that goes for
vegetable
clothing stores,
milliners.
Yeah, not to start that conversation now, but definitely think about it, and we appreciate your support. All right, we're gonna. Oh no, I cheated.
Thanks, though.
Wait, I don't know if I cheated.
Thanks for saying what I just said.
Okay, sorry. We're going to play a game. So,
yay.
I believe...
Oh, everyone's got paper.
So everyone... shh. You do have paper. Okay, so from what I understand, I'm going to show... You are going to see a blurry photo of a beer. I'm going to show us a blurry photo of a beer. I haven't seen it. None of us have seen it. We have to guess what it is. And then we're going to reveal. And we have 5 of them, I believe. Again, none of us have seen it.
I feel like this was my idea, and now I'm really nervous because I'm going to really shit at it.
Yeah, look, that's on you.
If I don't beat David, I apologise.
So we're going to start so that we can have time to talk about Hawaiian Haze as well, which is just a cheeky little beer. Okay, so you have it on your screen. So bananas, all of you. This is what we need to guess. Oh, can everyone see the blurry photo?
Brown Brothers logo on the front.
Brown Brothers, yeah. I think it's their Moscato.
Brown Brothers champagne, sparkling cuvee.
Oh, God. It's got a... Oh, I don't know.
Okay. I know. I think I know. I can't spell. How aggressive? How important is spelling?
Well, tell
Can I
me
just
and
get-
I'll spell it to you.
Yeah. What have you written, David?
Do we all know? Can we lock in? Time
Yeah,
is
I'm
sensitive.
locking.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. This
Time
is good.
sensitive because David just keeps
No, you need to fold it up, David. You get 5
Okay,
bits
are
of
we ready?
paper.
Are we ready online? Okay, so we're gonna reveal 3, 2, 1. Reveal.
Oh,
What'd you write?
Jesus.
I wrote.
Ood something.
Ooh, something good.
I thought it was like La Fontaine 3. I know there was
I wrote
like numbered.
Belgium.
What do we got? A panel of adjudicators. What's the real answer? Oh wait, I have the answers.
Well, no, it's going to
Disregard.
come up on the
Oh,
screen,
yeah,
isn't
yeah.
it?
Oh my god!
Oh, you're correct.
Oh.
What a surprise.
Oh my god! Can I get a, like? Is this acceptable spelling? Can I just get a?
No, it's wrong.
Yes. No.
right.
Yes, Alex.
You spelled 3 right.
Are you keeping
Well done.
score, Alex?
I'm gonna, yeah, it's 1 for Lauren. Easy. 10,000 for Lauren. Radio. Okay, next one.
Clear
Mother
and-
pooper.
Oh, I do know that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which might have been almost a Epiphany beer as well, I think.
Yeah, this was on
Yeah,
my
I
list of
reckon.
Epiphany beers too.
At home, has at home seen it? Are you sure? Okay, I'm just behind. I'm just care for you guys. Oh, you jumped the gun. Go.
That's the scheduled
Yes.
I
Did
spelled it wrong.
Did we
There's
all?
space in there.
It's Dupont.
Oh, given you can't read what
Oh
I've
no,
written.
so that means you
I
get
should
point-
just
you
scribble
only
a
get
note on that.
0.75 of a point.
Oh wait, these are all double-sided. Did we all cheat? What's happening now?
No.
No, we didn't.
I put the answer down. I didn't.
Oh, did you get it right again?
Yeah, I've got 3. Do I have many
stitch up.
copies of these? This feels like a
Keep
stitch
waiting
up.
for it to
Yeah,
find
yeah.
it.
This feels like a test that I can't pass. Okay. Sorry, onward. Next.
You have picked the obscure ones out of Brewski, haven't you?
It wasn't me. Let's blame Braden.
It's Braden, you're fired.
Hey, you almost had a good week too.
You can buy this at Brewski.
All
I
right.
think you'd be busy.
3, 2, 1, reveal.
Oh, of course it is.
Did you say
Ah,
nothing?
goodness sake.
Are you guys keeping track of score? 'Cause I've gotten so confused that I've stopped, but I think
And the
I'm
guy
winning.
sitting out the front of your store today when we left had Pliny the Elder.
He did. He had a
shirt
shirt
on.
on, didn't he?
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
could have, if you'd had a picture of him, I would have been able to say what it was.
Oh, you must be joking. Roger.
Oh, no.
Can I have a look?
I should be able to tell you what this is because that's what my vision is like most of the time.
Just take your glasses off.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I don't know if it's
Actually, it
the.
doesn't change.
I don't know if it's
I
the
do
prairie
that.
bomb or the
Exactly
actual
same.
image is blurred.
I've written something down.
I
All right, well,
Can I have another look?
got
Is it
no
Nomad?
idea.
Thank you, Dakes.
It's meant to be. These are meant to be iconic beers, aren't they? Anyway,
Right, I'm doing the exam next week. All of these suck.
Yes, Lauren.
Oops. Oh, I can't spell.
All right, are we ready?
yeah, let's do it.
Oh, hang on.
I have no
Right,
idea.
so next week we're doing
Oscar Blues, stout.
Alright,
Best which
yeah.
Shakespearean
Head
plays
topper?
quote
Head
unquote.
topper. It is. Nice.
Hey.
Wow. Very impressive.
Ass.
Wade,
God,
Wade.
no idea.
I did think, 1050 for a while.
Yeah.
Sorry, I realized.
I
I
do
keep
know that.
pointing it at the camera, but they already see it. It's my bad. I don't know this one.
Good.
Have you got every other one? Oh, you didn't get Heady Topper.
No, I didn't get Heady Topper, so I feel
Yeah,
like I'm
it's
losing extra.
that was hard,
can't
eh?
even cheat
Because it
very
looked
well.
like a label on a can. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it, you know. Oh, sorry.
You just turned over and looked at the answer.
I'd already written it.
Yeah.
Go back in
Is
time.
the answer to this one on that one?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Ready? Go.
Oh, we all get it. Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
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 very
nice
good.
work.
I think they're double.
Are we there yet?
We're done.
That's it. Oh my God, did I win?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I won.
Wait, did Matt and I tie? Or did I win? What? I got more than that. I got one wrong.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was a
How
tie.
many did you get, Matt?
It's a
I
tie.
think I got,
Is it Matt and I?
3.7.
3.7. Oh, did you put a space in Japan?
I think in the interest of humility and because he's our guest.
No, I got 4.
That seems right. I think Matt won.
No, it was 4. It was weird.
There's no way head topper you won based
Yeah,
on that.
yeah.
I thought that was blurry AF.
That's good.
Good job,
Well done.
everyone. Good job at home if you got 5 out of 5.
Next week we will be doing pick the Shakespearean play that this quote comes from, and I
Macbeth.
will be running that one.
Pick the business's vision statement.
Alrighty.
Oh, beautiful.
Radio. That was heaps fun. Thanks, guys, for organizing
more,
it.
please?
Braden, you keep your
I'm
job.
still drinking this one.
Just because we seem to waver
Yes.
in and out of it, I just wanted to participate.
Thanks.
Okay.
Prairie bomb. Pass that along.
Not to move on from these delicious beers because they're delicious, but let's talk about some Hawaiian Haze.
Let's talk about.
I think everyone should have an extra glass.
That's all right, we've got a glass of it.
Here's some Hawaiian Haze we prepared earlier.
Do you want to try some prairie?
Yeah,
Yeah, cool.
yeah.
This, people talk
Oh,
about
do you know, I just realized I already
McKellar's
had
breakfast
yeah.
stout. This
Here's one I
is a
prepared
breakfast beer. There's as much juice in this as just going and
What
buying
do
a
you mean
bottle
people
of.
talk about?
What's
Pardon
that?
me,
Well,
David.
that's Hawaiian Haze.
That's
too.
Hawaiian Haze. That's handy.
So it's same
Lockie, can you tell us about Hawaiian Haze?
Probably not. I
All
actually
right,
don't really
David,
know
can you
much about beer. No, yeah, I can. No, of course I can.
Tell us about the story behind it, what it is, what
Yeah.
it tastes like, why people should be drinking it.
There's so many things. Look, this beer was... It's funny, we'd brewed a few hazy beers and we kind of, I don't know, I kind of feel like we were searching for a little bit more from what we were doing. And we just kind of weren't quite where we wanted to be. And Jake and I went to the States and we went to Craft Brewers Conference in, where was it last year? Denver.
Swanned around for
I need to
4
tell you
weeks
that you
on
have
my
two-
That wasn't,
pocket or
it wasn't in
something.
Swandaround.
I need to tell you have 2 minutes just because
2 minutes?
we need to be able to do Q&A and I just needed you
Right,
to feel
okay.
that pressure.
No, I can be good. I can be good.
Sorry.
So we spent a bit of time. Jake watched I think I watched a freaking one of the presentations at the Brewers Conference about canning line dissolved oxygen, and Jake watched one about dry hopping Neepers. So go Jake, and boo me. That sucks. Anyway, yeah, we got low DO and nice beers. So anyway, basically we learned a bit from that, and then we went up to Portland, which is not typically an area renowned for hazy IPAs, but typically renowned for great craft beer. I think we ended up at Great Notion Brewing in Portland, and it was just like an epiphany moment. It was like, wow, this is like incredible. And we took some learnings from what those beers were and some learnings we'd learned from the conference. We came back and Jake sort of squirreled away and put together a new recipe, which actually became our Sleep When You're Dead Hazy IPA. Was our first stab at changing a few things that we did was using a Pilsner malt base instead of an ale, drying the beer out a little bit more and having slightly higher bitterness, which is not typically what you read about these beers, but I really feel like that adds drinkability to them. They can be really sweet and cloying if you don't. It doesn't have to be really high bitterness or really dry, but they just need to be in balance. Beers for drinking is really something I always come back to. Would I want to drink this beer? And so some things we worked on, and then this is kind of the baby brother of that Sleep When You're Dead Hazy IPA that we reworked, and I think we changed El Dorado for Citra in the hop bill, and it's pretty much the same beer. It's just a 4.6% version of that, which is kind of funny in itself that, same beer, don't tell anyone. But we just felt like a sessionable 4.5% version of a hazy IPA would be something that really would be great for the market. Wasn't being done a lot in Australia, and something that we personally wanted to drink. So this is the beer that came out.
This is the Brewers knockoff beer.
It is, and it kind of like the name Hawaiian Haze comes from the fact that all the brewers wear Hawaiian flamingo shirts on a Friday.
Or dresses.
Or dresses on a Friday, and we so that was the idea behind the haze, and it was kind of like this is the beer that the brewers drink as their Friday knockoff beer, and it's rung true. It's the one that every time people are having a pint of beer when they're heading home, this is the one they have. So,
And we have done the calculations. It is actually, you can have a pint of this.
yeah, it's
and
2
drive home.
standard drinks per pint. So
There we go.
yeah, cheers to that.
Matt, your thoughts? What do you think of the Haze?
Oh, look, I think it's got a beautiful
Be honest,
nose. And
you are on our podcast.
No, look, it's an absolute banger. It's got a beautiful nose. I love the fact that it finishes as dry as it does. Like a lot of hazies, you'll sort of get a bit of lactose or something that it'll sort of. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I think it stands out because it does finish dry like that. But yeah, beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, I reckon it's cracking.
Probably is my. It is my favourite.
You like a beer that I brewed?
No, it's my favourite of the beers.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
It is my pick at the moment of our core-ish.
I'm sorry,
items.
XPA. I still love you, but I'll see you less often.
Sorry, is this going to become core range or?
So
Always
always
available.
available.
Always available?
Yeah, we have an always available range,
Right.
which is Mexican hot chocolate stout. This,
Which is because of you guys.
yeah,
Thank
totally
you.
right.
But,
Yeah,
you know, I think both of those things have been just surprisingly requested.
Yeah.
So we want you to have it if you want it. So we're gonna just keep making them and.
yeah.
Yeah, some of this brewing stuff is not just our sheer brilliance. It's just we've discovered people actually like.
Well, we
that
do
beer
stuff,
and
and when people like it, we keep doing it.
Yeah,
You know? I mean,
yeah.
the beers that I wanted, if it was up to me, we'd just be brewing 7% West Coast IPAs all the time in different hop varieties. But
we'd have to call ourselves Fixation. Though.
yeah, well, that's right.
We make wicked IPAs.
They
as
also
well.
do make wicked IPAs.
Team, do we have a list? I didn't pay attention. Sick, thank you. We're gonna do some Q&A, a little bit of Q&A. Maybe we'll ask each other questions. Who knows? So
Can I shout out to my mum?
Please, yeah.
Who was the first comment on the live chat again?
Oh,
I
it's
think
your
she's
birthday
watched
tomorrow, right?
Saturday.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Happy birthday!
Um,
Happy birthday to
happy
you!
birthday,
Happy
Mum.
birthday
Yeah,
to you,
Mum.
Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you! And if you sing that twice
Yes.
while washing your hands,
Saturday is tomorrow.
if you sing that twice
My
while washing
mum
your hands,
will-
that's enough time to clean them for COVID.
Oh, really good.
Happy birthday
Also,
to
my
you
mum will
twice.
leap out of the mirror and grab you on the face. So, happy 60th, Mum. Thanks for watching.
Happy 60th.
I hope Bob's home and you have a nice day.
Oh.
Anyway.
the question?
Question. Yes. So a question from Adam Hopkins for Matt. How do you find and select the beers that you stock?
Walks around till he sees
Drunk?
it.
Yeah. I like to look at my beer list late at night after a few beers. No, it's a real mix of, I guess, got some amazing distributors that reach out to us for the international stuff. We can put requests in. It's also, I guess, we've got a reputation for, just buying the good gear. So if 5 cases come into Australia and they want to divide them up between states, we're usually one of the go-to options.
Do you go to the States and hunt down things as well?
When I can. It's been a few years.
Can I come?
Yes,
Oh yeah.
absolutely.
Did you go to Sierra Nevada for something one time?
Well,
Is
yeah,
that a thing?
it was. There was probably about
The boot
4
camp?
years ago. Yeah, I won a trip to Sierra Nevada's. What's it called?
It's
was
it's
gonna
like
say beer
camp.
camp.
It's
I
camp.
was
No,
gonna
it's
say band
camp
camp.
though, right?
Yeah,
It is. It's band camp.
At a bank,
One
beer
time.
camp. We need some beer.
Yeah, so yeah, no, I
One
was
time.
very lucky to go over there. But yeah, it's it's a mix of people coming to us and us seeking out what's new, what's amazing, and yeah, it's a great job. It's terrible.
Tough
Tough
to
day.
do.
It really
Yeah.
sucks.
I was thinking that's where we'd go with West End. And when we opened West End, I thought, oh, great, I can try all these different things and get all the reps have got to come to me before we sell them at West End. I haven't spoken to one rep since and have no say in anything.
You get that goat's way gin, though, don't you? At home?
It may well be there, but I never
You
to
got the
drink it.
peanut brittle.
Yes, I get the peanut brittle. Yeah.
That's yours. You'll have that
That's
forever.
right.
That peanut brittle. Lockie, John asked, "What's the capacity of the brewery
Sure. Yep.
or the combined?" Can you
My
do the
view is it's
combined?
unlimited. They just got to work harder.
So capacity of the brew house, we have 25 hectolitre, which is 2,500 litres. We can brew per batch. The actual capacity of what we could produce annually with our existing tanks and packaging facility is about. The tanks are a limiting factor. Sorry, I did a capacity study this week, and I'm waiting for Stephen to review it, but it was about 900,000 litres a year we could produce with our existing tanks. We need to put on one full-time brewer and a casual.
That's so informative.
We do have
thank you.
70,000 litres of storage
Yeah.
in fermenters at the moment.
Yep, 70,000 litres. And
We have 20,000 in bright tanks.
Right.
Also informative. Look at you
So
two.
90,000
Just did the
litres
maths.
of beer we could store on site in tank without packaging it.
So
yeah.
if the world does go to hell and we have...
Oh, thanks,
And
mate.
potentially, like, well outside of that, I was thinking about that when I was making my questions, and I feel like it's one of the like greater selections, probably in Australia. I reckon.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, that's it for us. I'm not going to wrap it up because that's boring. Matt, thank you for joining us. Anything you want to leave the people with?
Look, just drink good beer like this. This is exactly what you should be going out for this weekend. Grabbing a 4-pack of this and a couple of cheeky Mexican hot chocolate.
Thank you for that. But what else have you got coming in that you're excited about?
Oh, look, there's
I'm just going to stretch it out.
No, we don't. We're over. We don't
We're
have
over.
We've got a few international shipments coming in that are loaded with pastry stouts, which I always think are great fun. They're always up in their early teens percentage wise, and they're just the flavours that come out of these tins are always intriguing, and really looking forward to hooking into some of those.
All right, so get yourself down, get a pastry stout. Keep an eye on My Beer Dealer website and web shop, which will be open really soon.
Very soon. Yes,
And thank you once again.
Yeah,
Cheers.
thank
Thanks
you.
so much
Thanks
for having us,
everyone.
guys.
Cheers.
Have a great one.
Happy
Thanks,
weekend.
guys.
Thanks, Matt.
Cheers.
Thank you so much
Cheers,
for
mate.
coming.
No, thank you so much for having. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.